couple of figures to look at and review. It is the newest DC Multiverse Mega Wave. Here is Mongul and Frankenstein outside the box, and both these figures are matching about the same height. The Mongul, I actually like a lot more better in person. I was actually kind of worried about this guy because he didn't really look like the back of the card, you know, like he doesn't have that same appearance. Wasn't necessarily the classic uniform, and it wasn't necessarily a version of him like where it's his son in the Sinestro Corps. So, you know, there's just a little bit of, you know, stuff there I was kind of worried about. But seeing it in person, I'm just like, man, this figure does look really cool. He's got a very nice, like, yellow skin tone here. I think it looks really good. His head sculpt is not bad at all. He's got nice bright red eyes. He's got dirty teeth. He's got an ugly, mean-looking grin. I think the paint application there was done very well. The chest, you know, it's green, and then there's like a little white circle in the center, maybe like sort of like a shining light or something like that, or reflecting. So it's not too bad. Now the skin detail on the side, you can just see it's not just like bare. It's got a lot of skin detail. There's veins popping out here, making nurses day really happy. Then you have green gauntlets here, and it's got like a nice like wash. It's not plain color. It's you know, looks pretty scuffed up there. And you know, you get a pretty basic chest area. It doesn't articulate up there, but you got below here, you can just get all the movements you need, and he can do a pretty good job. On the back, you see some canister stuff, all this weird things. It's a little kind of blue, that line that runs through it kind of comes around. Doesn't really match with this blue. That's a little darker. But then you get his good old-fashioned purple pants and you know, silver boots, and it kind of gets a little bit bland on the bottom half here. I think kind of McFarlane maybe just kind of ran out of you know, costs for this figure. But you know, the head sculpt really has a lot of work into it. Unfortunately, it's just single jointed for the elbows, and then you got double jointed knees. Up next is Frankenstein. Now, I do not know much about this character. I mean, obviously Frankenstein is a popular character, but for me, for DC, I have like, I don't even know, right? But you know, I saw this character, and from what I've seen, that he's been part of, I think, Justice League Dark, and then he was a part of Shade, which, you know, I kind of cheated. I had to read the back of the card, but you know, it helped me understand a little bit. So obviously this guy is created by Victor Frankenstein, but he was just like, oh, I don't want him anymore, whatever, throw him in the garbage. But he wasn't even dead. He wasn't a trash baby. He comes out centuries later, and you know, he's, you know, working in this world, this modern superhero world, right? So the figure itself, though, you know, he's got some nice stitching around the arms, and there's like a little bit of like around the head, you know, where, you know, his brain would go, right? You know, they have like a pretty kind of classic looking, or not classic, but similarities to Frankenstein with the head sculpt. You know, it's kind of like that boxed head, some like metal prongs coming out on the side here. Kind of looks a little bit like the Hulk, if the Hulk turned into Frankenstein, to be honest. That's the vibes I'm getting here. His jeans, you know, here they got like a nice little wash here, so it's, you know, looks pretty alright. Doesn't seem too bad. Boots are nicely in detail. I like the sculpt that's coming around there. On the back of this jacket, actually, I didn't know this was a thing, but his sword that he comes with, you can just slip that right in there, and that's a pretty good way of having him if you don't want him to be holding anything. But you know, the sword itself is kind of bland, but there is some like nice like wrapping around here, but it looks more just like a metal sculpt or anything like that. You know, it doesn't look like cloth to me. I don't know if that was what they were going for. But let's see, his cape can kind of go up, or his trench coat, you know, it can go up. You can see doesn't look like a big diaper. It is separate, you know, obviously like all McFarlane figures are, but doesn't look too bad. Actually, I didn't even check Mongul. I should see how he looks. He has not been doing squats, but you know, maybe not diaper worthy yet though. So we've seen worse on that. Okay, here's Mongul next to Superman, just to show that size. He's got a few inches on him. Definitely looks like a nice combo seeing them next to each other. You know, I can totally imagine, you know, McFarlane releasing like 2-packs with like some mega figures that might like include like, let's say, you know, that Hush Superman that's sold out, you know, because everyone was getting like 6 or whatever if they ordered one. That was a McFarlane screw up. Since now that's out of stock, everyone's trying to find that. I think it'd be actually kind of cool to see McFarlane release another Superman with that body that everyone really wants. That was the infected Superman's body. You know, I think that we might see that one probably come down the line again, but I'm just kind of, you know, spitballing here. Maybe that'd be cool to see that Superman get re-released with like another version of Mongul, or, you know, another Superman character we haven't seen yet. Okay, here is Mongul next to, you know, 2 versions of Mongul from the DC Universe Classics line. Obviously, one was the regular Mongul, but the other one was, I believe, his son, who becomes a member of the Sinestro Corps. Since I'm looking at this sculpt and looking at like similarities and everything, I really feel like the Sinestro Corps one is going to be one that should get made. Simply because McFarlane's already got the sculpt on the arms. This one's already showing the arms. You know, so, you know, there might be like some small differences he should make, but I would love to see, you know, a Sinestro Corps one. Obviously, the right hand would probably have to get remade to include, like, you know, the ring and things like that. Hopefully McFarlane wouldn't forget something like that, but, you know, he has before with Superman. Don't think we forgot. Okay, here's Frankenstein with the Justice League lineup that we got so far. I know Deadman is coming out. People have already been finding him in Target and things like that. So Deadman should be coming soon. But I think all we really need after that is Zatanna, which that will probably be the most difficult figure for McFarlane to make. I think when you got to go with a female figure, you know, you gotta, you know, really try to make that figure work, I think. So I don't know how McFarlane's gonna be. You know, he hasn't done too many female characters. Like, the only ones I can really think of off the top of my head is Wonder Woman and Harley Quinn. So I don't know. Hopefully McFarlane does come up with his Zatanna soon, but you know, hopefully it's a decent figure in the end too. I decided to play a little bit with Mongul and see if he could hold a Marvel Legend up, and he could. You know, so I think that's kind of a cool way if you wanted to have him displayed holding up some like random civilian. I do enjoy these figures. I think they're great additions to the DC Multiverse line. You know, especially Mongul. You know, he's a classic character. I'm happy to see him kind of you know, pop up. I wasn't hoping to see this suit. I was kind of hoping to see, you know, the Sinestro Corps version, or, you know, the classic look. But here we are. You know, still a good figure for what it is. I love the height on it. I think it's great. Like, look, he can hold up a Marvel Legend figure. Like, he just looks like a dominating figure. So with that being said, though, I do give Mongul here, I'm going to say 7.5 out of 10. And then Frankenstein, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. You know, I think, and maybe it's a little biased because I don't really know too much about the Frankenstein for the DC world, but, you know, it does work out as a killer sculpt, I think, and I think it's a pretty decent figure for a team build-up. So I think that's kind of cool.